Hello and welcome to another video. In our last video, we created a Hello World app after setting up our development environment. In this series of videos, we will be creating one of our projects, which is the I Am Rich app. So you can create a project either on your terminal, or if you are on Android Studio, you can use the new Flutter project. And it's next, you know the view, because we did this in the tutorial, the first tutorial video, which is the Flutter environment setup. If you've not watched that video, I'll link it in the description below so you can watch. Then you give this project a name. So I'm going to say I am rich. Okay, so you can give it a description. Then I'm just going to change this to Nia Studios. And then I'm just going to rule out the web because we're not going to be loading any web projects. Then you can finish this by hitting finish. So this should create our project. Okay, so once the project is ready, I'm just going to do a cleanup. So in our pubspec.yaml, I'm just going to remove some of these comments as I really don't need them. Okay, so in this video, we're not using any other fonts. So we can clean this up. Then we'll be using an image. So you can comment all of this. And then create an asset directory. So right click on your roots folder, hit new and directory, name it assets. Then you can add a folder in the assets folder, name it images. Okay, so if you download the assets folder for this project, there's one called images, and then it has an image in it called diamond. So just copy and paste it in your images, or if you're on Windows, you can hit the control and drag and drop it on the images and hit OK, so it will add it to your images directory. Okay, so now we have to bring this image into our project. So I'm just going to add it here as assets / images, and I'll add the name, which is diamond, and the extension. So it's a PNG file, so diamond.png, and hit save, and I can do update. If you are running on, okay, so I think I have to type this in better. So hit Alt A and hit Control Alt L, and you can hit save. Okay, so just bring this. If you get this error, just bring this back. So the use material and the assets are in the same line, on the same line, and hit update. Okay, so once the project is created, I'm going to do a cleanup, which is by removing some of these comments, almost every comment, as I was not using them. Okay, so if you downloaded the assets for this project, when you open the assets folder, you should get an app icon folder and an images folder. I will leave a link to this assets in the description below. So create an assets folder in your root directory. So I'm just going to say assets. Then I'll copy and paste this images folder into the assets folder. So if you're on Windows, just hold control and drag and drop it on the assets and hit OK. So this adds it. So inside the images folder, there is a diamond.png file. So we are going to load it into our project. So uncomment the assets and pack it in. So the assets and then the use material design have to be on the same line. So we are going to clean this one up. Then I'm going to say assets / images, and I'm going to say diamond.png and remove the JPEG and save and do a update. So if you are on Visual Studio Code, you can open a terminal with Command J, then hit flutter hub get. It's going to do exactly the same thing after you've edited this. Then close the terminal. Okay, so I'm going to do a cleanup in the main file as well. So I'm going to be deleting everything in the home page. So first of all, I'm going to clean up these comments. And I'm going to launch an emulator and then launch the app on the emulator. So we see how it takes as we are working along. So I'm going to launch. So you come to your AVD manager and launch any of the emulators you've created. If you've not created any yet, you can hit create new device, select one of these devices and hit next and follow the prompt. Okay, so I'm going to launch one of mine. So it's already running. So I'll hit, then I'll just hit the play, make sure it's selected and hit the play. So I'll wait till this launches on the screen. Then we can continue. In the meantime, I'm going to set the display of the emulator to always show on top. So emulator always on top, so that it will always be on the top screen. Then we can clean up some of these comments while we wait for the app to be launched. Okay, so while the app is loading, okay, the app is up and running now. So let's discuss the basics of everything. So there are two main widgets in Flutter around which almost everything in the app is built. The two widgets are a stateless and a stateful widgets. So stateless widgets have no state, as if they don't change dynamically. However, stateful widgets, as the name suggests, changes dynamically. So you can be pulling in live data into your app, and in that case, you don't want to use a stateless widget because it can't update the data that is coming in, and so you have to use a stateful widget. Alright, so in this app, we are going to build a stateless widgets app, which is to say that the app is not going to change with dynamic data. So to get the basics of everything in Flutter, I'm just going to delete everything in the home page widget, which is a stateful widget. So I'll delete everything and just return the container. And remove this const. So when you save, you get this black screen. Okay, so what is really going on with this black screen? We are getting the black screen because a container by default is black, comes with a black background. So you have to change things to suit your needs, especially when they are in the material app main widgets. So whatever you put in your run app is what is going to be rendered for you on your screen. So if you change this to a material app, is what is going to be rendered. However, if you put this directly in your, if you put the material app in your run app, it's going to run normal, but it's not going to update your app as it should with the hot reload and hot restart, which is not very ideal. So to show you that, I'm just going to copy the material app and then paste it inside of the run app. Add a comma and hit save. So you get the same kind of view, but let me say color to color.white. Now this is not going to change because the reason is the hot reload we talked about in the first video operates under these conditions. It's going to bring in the changes you made only in the build method. So whenever you hit save, Flutter, the development SDK is going to look for the changes you've made in your build method. So it's going to look for either the stateless or the stateful widgets, find the build method, and then look for any changes you've made that was not in the previous code, and then render that. So anything aside what is in your build widgets will not be rendered on your screen with hot reload. You have to do a cold boot of the app. So you have to stop the app from running and rerun it. And that is not very ideal if you are doing Flutter development. So the basic reason why we are using Flutter is because of the hot reload, hot restart, and the flexibility of things. So you don't want to stress yourself putting everything in the run app. And so you can abstract things from the run app and create a stateful or a stateless widget for your apps and then put in things there. So if we change this, the color of this container to say colors.white and hit save, you get this white background. So that's hot reload. Now if you do a hot restart, it's going to collect all the app, but then not just apply the changes you've made, but rebuild the entire build method. So the entire build method, so everything within here will be re-rendered onto your screen. So hot reload will rebuild this build method and then render it on your screen. But hot restart, so hot reload will just apply the changes. Hot reload will rebuild the entire build method and re-render it. Okay, so we are going to change this container into a scaffold. So a scaffold is a base widget for most apps. Then we change the color to a background color. Then we add a const modifier if you want. Then we can add a body and make it a container. So once we add a container, we should remove this const because a container changes with different screen sizes and densities. So we can change the title as well. So this title really doesn't show in any part of our house, but I like to change it. So I'm just going to say I am rich. Okay, so we look at the theme. So if you have any specific themes like your default colors, your default fonts, your default font sizes, your default font family, if you want to be doing dark mode, different modes as in dark, lights, whatever you want to add, everything should go into your theme data. So when you hover on theme data, you get all the properties you can edit in there, and that is one use of Android Studio. Okay, so for those of you that doesn't know or haven't heard about the I Am Rich app, during the early ages of the App Store, a guy named Herman Heinrich created this app, this dummy app, which did nothing but just to show the world of people, and then decided to put it at the highest price the App Store allowed at the time, which was $999.99. Before it was taken off the App Store, 8 people bought it. I don't know why anyone would buy the app, but 8 people bought it. So what the app did was basically nothing, just to show a red ruby on the screen with your amounts, your account balance on the screen, just to show off wealth. Okay, so if you look on your screen, you see we have this banner, red banner with some debug on it. That's because this is not a production app, and so you'd always see this. But if you build this for production, this will go away. But to hide this, if you want, you can add the debug banner show mode and set it to false in the material app. Set it to false, and that is gone. Okay, so we are going to add an app bar that will show the title of our app. So I'm going to say app bar, which by the way is a property on the scaffold widget. So everything basically in Flutter is a widget. Either you create the widget yourself or you use a built-in widget. So we can say title and we can set it to a text and we say I am rich. So that's what we want to name the app. And hit save. So we get this I am rich. If you want, you can center this text with a center widget. So you hit Alt Enter on Android Studio and hit Rapid Center and hit save, which is going to put it in the center. But the app bar itself comes with one property that will center the text. So I'm going to add the const to the text, and I'm just going to say center title, which is a property on the app bar with it, and set it to true. So when I hit save, it continues to be in the center because that's what it does. Center title to true. Okay, so I am going to change the background color of the app bar. So I'll as a background color, and I'll change it to colors.teal, and I'll give it like 900. Okay, I'm going to use blue gray rather. So colors.blue gray, and I'll give it a shade of 900 and hit save. Then I'm going to change the background of the scaffold from white to blue gray and hit save. So we have this kind of flow. Okay, so to center anything on the body, you can use the center widget. So I'm going to center this container. So I'll hit Alt Enter, then wrap with center. Then I can save. Really, what I want to put on the screen is just an image and not a container. So I'll just use the image widget, which by the way is a widget that is built into Flutter. And I'll say image. There's an asset image. So we have ways of bringing in images into our app. You can use network images. You can use asset images. So I'm just going to say diamond. And I'll hit save. So I have this diamond on the screen, which would be in the center. But it's really big for my liking. So I'm just going to say height to about 100. Save. And then the width to about 100. Save. So it's a bit smaller. Okay, so can change this to 200. 200. Then we get this nice diamond from the screen. Okay, so basically this is all that I am rich app is going to do. Not much of a fancy app, but to grasp the concept of widgets and the flow of how we place widgets on our screens. Okay, so we have this I am rich app now. The basic idea was to show how things flow with the hot reload and the hot restart. We'll be building more apps in the future, so you get a feel of how things would be like. Okay, so you can still increase this if you want to the size that suits you in St. Francis. Okay, so we've been able to create this app. So I'm just going to put the app and show you something. So we have this I am rich app, but when you look at the app icon of the I am rich app, it's just some default Flutter app icon. So if you don't know what an app icon is, it's the icon that shows on the app. So for this Google Maps, it shows this nice location app, the location icon with the Google colors. If you have the settings as this cog icon, the Android, and that is what we call the app icon. So we are going to look at how we change this to a default, to a custom icon. Okay, so what you have to do is just right click on the Android directory. Okay, so you can open the Android directory, come to the SRC, the main, the rest, and then just right click on the rest, and then come to open in, and then select Explorer. Okay, so once you are in the Explorer, you can open the assets folder, and open the app icon. So I can hide the emulator for now. Once you open the app icon, we have the Android and assets.sc assets. So the SC asset is for those running on iOS. So if you are running the iOS version of things, you can use this as your app icons. Then, if you're on Android, which happens to be the platform, you get this kind of asset directories. So mapmap is DPI. So just open the Android if you are on the Android as I am. Then open the rest folder. So you should delete everything that says mapmap. Everything that says mapmap should be deleted. So delete that one and then just copy the mapmap.hdpi and copy it into the rest folder. So you can close both. Now, when you relaunch the app from code, it's going to show you the image. So when you look into the rest folder, the one we just replaced, and look into the mapmap folder, you get this diamond thing. Okay, so I'm going to show you how you can create the app icon in two ways. The first is using an online tool. So open your favorite web browser. Then once opened, okay, so once the app launches, you can hide this. And then when you look at the I Am Rich app now, you see that it has this default, it has this diamond app icon, which is the custom one we just made. Okay, so we've been able to successfully change the app icon, but how did I generate such an app icon? So what you have to do is, I'm going to show you two ways in which you can create this app icon. So first of all, open your favorite web browser. I'm just going to use Google Chrome. Then I'll open to then I'll search for, okay, so once you have the browser open, just search for app icon creator. Then the first link is going to be an app icon.co, which is the one I use. So you can just drag and drop. So when you open let me hide this one later. So when you open the assets folder, the images folder, and you drag and drop the diamond name. So you select the ones you want. I don't need an iPad. I don't need a WhatsApp. I don't need a Mac OS. I want Android, and then I want iPhone. So just leave the name by default. It is going to be IC launcher. Then hit generate. Okay, so once it's done generating, it automatically download for you. So you can see in folder. So when you extract this, so you want to extract that here. So you get this Android and asset.this asset. So I'm just going to create a new folder and call it app icon. Then the app store and play store inside of the app icon. And just add the Android and asset. Let's see asset in as well. So when you open the app icon, you have the Android with the mission and the XC asset, which contains this. and we have the App Store and then the Play Store. So that's how you use the online to generate app icon. Another alternative is to use Android Studio by default. So you can come to the Android SIC. So when you come to new and you don't find any asset folder, you can just right click on Android and come to Flutter and do open Android module and Android Studio. And you can do a new window. So this opens up in a new window. So just wait for it to load up your folder. Okay, so once the project is fully loaded, make sure you don't edit anything in here. So just come to the rest, right click on it, and come to new. And this time around, you see a lot of stuff here. You just select image asset. Then you're going to load the preview images, which by default is going to be the Android stuff. So yes, you can change the background to a color image. If you want to use an image, you can use an image and select the image part. If you want to use a color, you can select the color. So I'm just going to change the color to something white. Then this is for the background. So the foreground, and I'm going to use an image. You can use a text if you want, which is going to be this. And I'm just going to use an image. Then I'll navigate to where I saved the diamond image, which would be in the users. Then Misha and deck, then desktop assets and images, then diamond. Select. So you see there's diamond and I can scale it down. Okay, so you can show grid here to show how it will look like with the grids on. I'm just going to turn off the grids. So I think this is okay for me. And so underneath here is going to say an icon with the same name already existing and will be overwritten. So that's basically what you want to do. You want to replace the default one with a custom one. So yes, once you are comfortable with all of this, so if you want to generate for any API that is less than 25, you can use that to shape. You can change the shape from square to circle if you want. And API that is 25. And if you want to generate a Play Store icon or not, you can take this. So it won't generate a Play Store icon, or yes, so it will add a Play Store icon, which is this one. So no, we remove it, and then yes, we'll add it. Okay, so once you are comfortable with everything done here, you just hit next. Then it's going to show all the images it's going to overwrite, which is this one. So you hit finish. And then voila, when you check your map images and IC launcher, when you check this one, it's now this new IC launcher there with the diamond. So now you can close this project, and when you rerun the app, you should get the custom app icon you added. So those are the two ways you can add app icons, either using the online tool or the Android Studio with this way. Either one of it is fine. Okay, so that will be it for this video. See you in the next video where we'll be building the my card app. So just a demo of the my card app. I'm just going to show you how it's going to be. So okay, I'm going to show you how the my card app is going to be. So I'm just going to okay, so in our next videos, series of videos, we are going to be building this my card app. So this is just a demo of what we are going to be building in the next video. Alright, stay tuned. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support this channel. See you in another video.